Let me tell you, the craziest thing that ever happened to me didn't go down in some back alley or at a high school party or even at a family barbecue. It happened 30,000 feet in the air in a place where folks pretend manners are stitched into their DNA, but all it takes is one crack in the facade and you see what people are really made of. It started on my 16th birthday, and I swear I still remember the look on that pilot's face, the way he squinted at me like he was seeing a glitch in the universe. "Sweetheart, economy's in the back." That's what he said loud enough for everyone in the front of the plane to hear, right? As I settled into seat 4B holding the business to Captain Harrison. He saw a black teenage girl alone business class and decided right then that something had to be wrong. Let me back up a sec. There's a reason I'm telling you this. Because what happened next wasn't just about me or a plane ticket or even about a seat. It turned out to be about what power looks like when it's threatened and how a single small act of courage can break something ugly wide open. So there I am, in my best turtleneck and jeans, clutching a battered old copy of Dorian Gray, looking about as out of place as you could imagine. And the man in the pilot uniform just hovers. He doesn't check my ticket, doesn't bother with the normal small talk. Just tells the flight attendant Chloe she looked about as uncomfortable as I felt to find me my real seat. When she looks at my boarding pass and says, Captain, this is 4B, he barely glances at it. Then comes the low, mean laugh the one adults give when they think they're untouchable. A birthday present, he says, like it's a punchline. I've been flying 25 years. I know a freeloader when I see one. That right there is when the temperature in the cabin dropped about 10 degrees. The other business class passengers start glancing over their newspapers and cocktails. There's a woman with pearls clutching her purse like I'm about to steal it, and a guy in a suit who raises his eyebrows and starts watching like he's sizing up a chess move. I'm trying not to lose it. My heart is racing. But my dad always told me don't let anyone make you feel small, especially not when you're right. So I did what you're supposed to do in situations like this. I pulled out my phone and called my dad. Now Robert Williams doesn't scare easy, and he definitely doesn't like when anyone messes with his family. I could hear his voice shift from gentle to cold in 2 seconds flat. "Let me talk to the pilot," he says, and I stand up, walk straight to the cockpit, and try to hand the phone to Captain Harrison. He just waves me off, smirks at the mention of my dad's name, tells me one last time to get to the back, or he's calling security. You ever see a man get too comfortable in his own power? That was him. I tell my dad what's happening, and then I watch from the aisle as Captain Harrison gets paged to the front by a gate agent, the kind of call, isn't for a routine check. And the tension in that cabin, I swear you could slice it with a plastic knife. The captain storms off, and within minutes a supervisor comes hustling onto the plane, face pale, apologizing like her life depends on it. "Miss Williams, I'm so sorry for this misunderstanding. Can we get you anything?" Her words are syrupy, desperate, but you can tell the apology isn't really for me. It's for the people upstairs, the ones she's terrified of disappointing. Then right there, boom, flight's canceled. Out of nowhere. "Operational issue," she says, but you can read her face. This is damage control corporate style. The whole cabin erupts, people shouting about missed meetings, demanding explanations, as if I'm the reason their trips got ruined. I get a second wave of stares, not just, "Why are you here?" but now, "Why did you mess up my day?" Let's just say there's no welcome wagon in the world like a plane full of angry business travelers. Turns out my dad had called Orfley's CEO, Richard Davenport, the same guy whose signature is on million-dollar contracts with my father's company. They rerouted the whole corporate food chain for me, and before I know it, I'm being ushered off the plane through the crowds into a private lounge. Davenport himself comes to apologize, offers me a private jet, a lifetime supply of first-class tickets, anything to keep me and my family quiet. But in that moment, all I wanted was for the pilot to look me in the eye and see me, not a problem, not a stereotype, just a kid on her birthday. I took the jet not for the luxury, but because my dream of a normal flight was shot to hell. When I landed in Paris, the news was everywhere. Passengers had filmed everything, and the video went viral. Racist pilot grounds black teen in business class. Captain Harrison, whose real name is David, became the face of a nationwide scandal. His face was everywhere: news, social media, talk shows. He lost his job, his pilot's license, his family, everything. Even his own kids got bullied at school. And let me tell you, the internet doesn't forget. Here's the part nobody talks about. I didn't want all that. I just wanted fairness. I spent my week in Paris trying to enjoy myself, but everywhere I went, I felt the fallout of what had happened, an uneasy mixture of pride and guilt, vindication and sadness. When I finally saw a picture of Captain Harrison online, looking hollowed out, desperate, it hit me. Karma is a funny thing, but it can be brutal, and it doesn't always feel good to be on the right side of it. 6 months later, Harrison's life was a wreck, living alone in a cheap apartment, working dead-end jobs, shut out by friends and colleagues, haunted by one stupid, hateful moment. But life keeps spinning. One day, his old co-pilot finds him, hands him a check from a handful of other pilots, a small gesture that says, "Hey, you're not totally alone." Meanwhile, I got dragged into activism panels about race and privilege. People wanted to hear me speak, but honestly, I was just a kid figuring it out as I went. That's when I realized I needed closure. So I asked to meet Captain Harrison face to face, no press, no hashtags, just two human beings stripped down to the bones of what happened. We met in a park, both of us smaller than when this all started. He apologized, really apologized, not with excuses, but with a broken, honest heart. I told him I forgave him, not because he deserved it, but because I needed to let it go to move forward. Funny thing is, forgiveness isn't about erasing what happened. It's about freeing yourself from the weight of it. Harrison started rebuilding little by little, taking courses, volunteering, actually working to undo some of the harm. I found my own path too, went to law school, started helping people like me, speaking about bias and change, turning pain into purpose. And you know what? We never crossed paths again, but I know we both changed for the better. So that's the story, a story that started with a birthday trip, a business class seat, and a man who couldn't see past his own bias. It became a public mess, a cautionary tale, and in the end, a lesson in the complicated, messy power of forgiveness. Some say karma got him, others say I was just lucky to have a powerful dad. But the real story is about what we do with the messes we make, how we choose to see each other, and whether we're brave enough to try and fix what's broken. Now I want to know, where do you stand? Who was right? Who was wrong? And what does justice really mean in a world where a single act can ripple out and change so many lives? Drop your thoughts below, share this with someone who needs to hear it, and let's keep the conversation going.